What's going on? Trip Kramer here from tripadvice.com. Let me give you a couple flirting tactics that work so well, really helps you with building attraction. So one of the reasons why you're going to want to learn this and implement this is to make conversation have a little bit more tension and a little bit more interesting. And so she has this idea that you might be interested in her, right? That's what flirting is. If she doesn't have any idea that you might be slightly interested in her, then you're going to land in the friend zone. So you have to know exactly what to do, and these tips are going to help you. Also, this is really going to take these conversations that you have with women to the next level. If they're not interesting, if they're boring, and I'll give you some tips again here that are going to make it not boring, but if they're boring, then she's just not going to be interested. So it could be even worse than the friend zone. She just isn't feeling any sort of emotion when she's with you. And when there's no emotion at all, there's no attraction. Okay, we have to understand how to build that tension. Now, if you want more of what to say when you're in an interaction with the woman and just conversation dies, you're not sure what to do, I do have a free video. Some of you have it, and I know a lot of you don't. It's called Chick Crack. It's a free video that teaches you the topics of conversation that women respond to. So go ahead and check that out in the description down below. You can go to tripadvice.com/chick-crack, and you'll get that video. We'll send it to you in your email. All right, let's give you the first tip, and let me give you a little hint. I'm doing it right now. Can you tell what I'm doing? I maybe am talking like a robot, but that's not it. What it is I'm talking in downward tonality, meaning everything that I'm saying at the end of my sentence goes down. What's the opposite of that? Well, I'm not saying, all right, hey, what's going on? Here's what you're going to learn today. Hey guys, how are you? That is upward tonality. We want downward tonality. Why? Because downward tonality is more of a commanding tone, and it sounds less like you're trying to get something from her. So for example, let's say you're walking down the street and someone's trying to get you to sign some petition to save the whales, and they come up to you and they say, hey, how's it going? How you doing today? Hey, do you have a second? Hey, do you have 2 seconds to save the whales? They're going to be talking like that because they're trying to get something from you. Instead, we don't want to put out that kind of vibe or energy to a woman. We don't want to sound to her like we're trying to get something from her. Instead, we want to sound like we're trying to do something commanding. We're talking to her like this, and it also sounds a little bit more attractive, that commanding tone, which is more assertive, more dominant, more masculine. Imagine, I'll give you 2 different examples with 2 different tonalities and the same idea behind it. And you can tell me what you think would sound more attractive. Let's say you're walking with a woman on a date. You're trying to figure out a place to sit at the bar to grab a drink. And you say to her, hey, how about over here? Does this sound good? Does it look good to sit over here? How about here? Does this good? Is this good? How about this place? Is this good? How about that seat? Does that sound good? Right? No. What sounds better, that or this? Hey, that seat right there. Let's go sit. Hey, you know what? This seat right here. Perfect. Let's sit. So I added a little bit more to this than tonality. I was also being decisive, right? Decisive is what's very attractive to women as well. So if we combine decisiveness and that tonality, that's going to be super attractive to her. All right, now I told you that we're going to make these conversations interesting, right? We're going to be making things a little bit more engaging. And so here's the next tip. We have to make sure that once in a while, when you're talking to a woman, that you're being more polarizing. If you are super agreeable, or you're not saying anything that shows your opinion, or you're not saying anything that's going to make her go, huh, that's interesting, right? If none of that's happening, it's going to be very boring. And so a great way to do this is by being polarizing. Some of the most polarizing individuals are some of the most interesting, whether you like it or not. So think about actors, think about presidents, think about anybody in the media or in celebrity status that has a lot of haters and a lot of lovers. Those people are polarizing. And the people who aren't are generally boring. So how to be polarizing? I have a very easy technique for you. Think about going to one side or the other on any sort of opinion or a like or a dislike, and it can be anything. And I guarantee you, you have an opinion, you have a thought, and you have some sort of stance on something. So whatever that is, bring it up in conversation. And you know what? If you want to exaggerate something a little bit, that's fine too. So let me give you an example of what this might sound like. Let's say she's like, oh, you know, my favorite movies are the Twilight series. I love the Twilight movies and I love reading those books. So a reaction to that would be polarizing could be, really, you watch that? Okay, come on. Those are some of the worst movies ever. Okay. You can also go to the other side if you happen to be a Twilight fan. You can say, wait, you watch the Twilight series? That is my absolute favorite movie as well. It's awesome. Now, here's the thing. There was one of those examples that was a little bit more polarizing. It's probably the one where you were saying to her, like, oh, no, that's the worst. Either way, either of those stances is still polarizing. But if you could ever lean towards the disagreeing side or anti something they said, that is going to trigger an emotion and it's going to get her more engaged in the conversation. Think about it. Think about when you're in a conversation or you're watching someone on TV speak about politics or whatever, and they say something that you agree with. You're usually thinking to yourself, oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But if they say something that you disagree with, you go, whoa, wait a second. Brings up more emotions, doesn't it? It gets you a little more riled up. Now, of course, we're not trying to make an enemy here, and we don't want to get her completely pissed off at you, but this is why it's called flirting, right? We're talking about flirting here. And so we're flirting because we are engaging in the conversation on an emotional level and building that tension, and we're doing it in a playful manner. So if we combine being polarizing in this playful manner, we have a little golden nugget that you can use that can really spark that attention. Let me give you a few more examples. Maybe you approach a girl and she says to you, I'm from Florida, and you can say, wait, you're from Florida? Come on, that is the worst state in the entire country. Right? If you say that and you have a little bit of a smile on your face, by the way, smiling is important here. It allows you to get away with more. That is going to bring up a reaction out of her. And good, that's what we want. You see, a lot of guys try to do the opposite. They try to just agree to agree, and that's boring and it doesn't bring up much emotion. So you want to make sure that once in a while in conversation, you have to disagree with her. Now, I wouldn't just do it to do it. Hopefully you have a little bit of belief behind what you're saying, or else it's just going to sound weird that you're just trying to disagree with her on every single turn. But every once in a while, bring that out. So that's being polarizing by disagreeing, but you can also be polarizing in other ways, okay? So let me give you some examples here, and this is the third tip that's really helpful with flirting. When you're talking about yourself, when you're describing yourself, when you're saying what you like, what you dislike, the stories you have from your past, the things that you've done in general, bring more emphasis to allow it to be more polarizing. So for example, maybe you've traveled a bunch. You can talk about that in a way that's more polarizing. So instead of saying, oh yeah, I've been to Iceland, I've been to Europe, I've been to Australia. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was a good time. I like to travel. Not as interesting as, okay, so I've been to Iceland, I've been to Australia, I've been to Japan. The best place, hands down, the best place I've ever traveled was Japan. I think that was my #1 trip. If you say it like that, how do you think she's going to respond to you? Whoa, really? Wow, okay, this guy's very passionate about this. I'm curious, like, what's that like? What was it like? What's going on? If you show some passion and a little bit of polarization to make a stance on anything, then that's going to bring her more engagement into the conversation, and it's going to make it more flirtatious. A great way to use some of these principles is by also having conversation topics that women enjoy. I said earlier that you can get that at tripadvice.com/chick-crack. Learn those topics of conversation, and then you can bring those up in conversation and add in that polarization, add in the downward tonality. And if you're able to do that, then you have a really engaging conversation that makes her interested in talking to you even more.